Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Let's Play Planet Coaster Globe Explorer here on Theme Park Worldwide. In this episode I'm going to be working on the theming and landscaping all around the B&M Floorless roller coaster that I built in episode 5. And along with that as well, I'll also be revealing the names that I've chosen for the vintage cars ride and also the carousel over in the United Kingdom themed area as well. But yes, welcome to the episode. Straight in then with some hashtag rock work. Gotta love some quality rocks here on Theme Park Worldwide. You know me, when I go to theme parks in real life, away from Planet Coaster, I love rocks, and that's why Klugheim at Phantasialand in Germany is one of my favourite ever themed areas. And to be honest, the whole of Phantasialand, because there's great rocks everywhere there. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of parks what do rocks very well, but Phantasialand are probably the best. I mean, look at Old Chiapas area as well, their Intamin Flume ride that they've got there. That's got a ridiculous amount of fake rock work around there. Colorado Adventure, their Vekoma mine train, that's the same, you know, that's got lots of rocks all around it. So yeah, you know me, loving the rock work. It's a bit of an ongoing joke, isn't it? Come on. I love a bit of hashtag rock work. But here we go. You're going to see plenty of it throughout the episode. Working on the station now. Of course, this will be all themed around China, and you can see here I'm going for a bit of a Chinese temple style station. It's built up on the hill there as well, so it should create a nice backdrop to this area. As you can see, you've got the train track running just behind it, and that will be the back of the area just there. Now, I did mention in the last episode how I am planning on building a dark ride sort of behind the lift hill of this coaster. From looking at your comments, it seems like a lot of you think that would be a good position for it. Bear in mind, the lift hill sort of covers the show building up for it quite nicely, and also it'll be at the back of the park. I also really liked someone's suggestion about the berm that I'm going to build around this area, sort of being the Great Wall of China. So I am going to try and do that, and maybe incorporate the show building when I do build that for the dark ride, and make it a bit like the Great Wall of China. That's my plan. Anyway, I'm going to go along those lines and we'll have a go and see what we can do. So in terms of building up the layers here on the station, like I say, it's all fake from the top up really, in terms of, you know, it's only the actual bottom part of it what's going to be functional as the actual station. All these top sections here, they won't actually have a purpose other than just decorative, just so it looks pretty, and we're going for a few different tiers. As you'll see here as well, I changed the design quite a bit. I mean, like I say, I'm not perfect. I like to have a little bit of an experiment. I tried some different blocks there, thinking, oh, you know, they'll look all right, but then I thought, actually, no, I'm not a big fan of those, and started to change them around. But of course, that is the beauty with this game, and just having a play with it. Take your time, try a few different things out, and see what takes your fancy really, to see if it looks good. Over the next few minutes, you'll start to see the station building here really coming together, and just hopefully the area in general. Now, something else that I wanted to chat about from reading the comments, a few of you thought it was a bit of an interesting position where I've put the observation tower, thinking that, you know, I thought about the sight lines quite a lot over in the United Kingdom area, and then I've just put in the observation tower very close. Well, actually, when you're standing on the entrance street down at guest level, you can't actually see the observation tower when it's up, and also I kind of class it as a temporary structure as well, because you think it's not always lifting up in the air, only at certain times. So but yeah, it's nothing to worry about too much. When you pass underneath the train track at the bottom of the entrance streets and look to the left, you see the B&M coaster anyway, even though it is in the next country, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I just thought I'd address that from looking at a couple of the comments on the previous episode. Like I say, I read each and every one of your comments. I'll drop them some hearts, and I'll comment back on a few of them as well. You know, but I do read each and every one on all of the videos here on the channel, and you know, I do like to see what you guys think to our videos, and of course with Planet Coaster, keeping it interactive as well. As you can see, just changing the bottom wall there, because I thought, you know what, it's not right, it's not in the right place or colour scheme, so I tried a couple of different things here just to make sure that I got that right. You can see me there just building it around the station itself. and using the various different sections there to make sure it fits around the track. And of course the ball doesn't actually go through the track itself. I've got to make sure that you build around it, of course. In terms of other pieces of theming that I'm going to be building around this coaster, we're going to be looking at a couple of different other buildings as well, like an entrance temple down towards the entrance of the queue line, and I'll start work on that shortly. Along with that, there's going to be some special effects. I'm thinking about some waterfalls, fountains, and also a fire-breathing dragon as well. Now, I kind of had a bit of a test. The first time I ever played with this Chinese theming was actually a couple of when I did my amusement park. When I did that a couple of series back now, and yeah, you know, I sort of practiced it on a Schwarzkopf looping coaster, and I gave it a pretty light Chinese theme. Nothing, you know, too dramatic, you know, nowhere near as impressive as what I'm hoping this will be when it's complete. But yeah, I sort of tried it out with that, and yeah, you know, that was my first time experimenting with it. So now the plan is to go big scale with this, and you know, you've got the little pre-drop there that comes out of the station up into the lift hill. That's something that a lot of B&M coasters tend to do, and yeah, I'm going to start with putting some rocks around there shortly, some bushes, trees, and really start to close this area in. As you can see there, it's all about building up the layers, and I've always spoke about this every series that I've done of Let's Play Planet Coaster. You'll hear me talking about layers, and you know, they are really important. It's all about building it up. So you've got your base, then your windows and your doors, and then you start to think about your other things as well, just to fill the space, because you know, most of the time when you're doing buildings, whether it's a station, a shop, a restaurant, or just another park building, an amenity in your park, then you don't want it to have too much blank space. You know, sometimes maybe it'll work, but in general, you want to keep the areas quite full, and that's how you know, I think I make them look as good as I can do, really. Very extravagant, my themed areas. I mean, if these were real, they'd cost an absolute fortune for the parks to actually build them. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just putting some corners there. It's all about time and attention to detail with this. And like I said, at the moment it might look a bit, you know, like, oh, where's he going to go with it? But this is where I start to build other bits up now. Before I start to add more to that building, I needed some inspiration of where to go next. So that's where I'm starting now with the hashtag rock work, just starting to put that in around there, around that pre-drop, and also the brake run area as well. As always, thank you very much for sharing your tips for Planet Coaster in the video comments, both to help me out and also other users as well. So yeah, it's always great. Keep sharing your tips down below. Like I say, it helps everybody out. You know, a lot of people have said, oh, Sean, why don't you use certain shortcuts? To be honest, like with different shortcuts in this game, sometimes I find it easier just to do it the hard way. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's just how I've always played the game, you know. Like, I know there's various shortcuts that make my life easier, but it's just how I've always played it. You know, it's one of them. I'm kind of stuck in my ways with it, really. Just some more details going on there, and I've started to think about the lighting, what's going to fit onto the building here as well. Do love these panels that you've got there. They add a really nice sort of texture to it as well. And what I really like with this temple, how it's up on the hill, is that the queue line, it all sort of builds up, you know, and it looks a lot bigger than it actually is with it being up there on the hillside. There's the nice little lanterns going in. Absolutely love those. One of my favourite objects, actually, in Planet Coaster. Really do like them. I just think they add a really nice touch to the area, and of course look great at night as well. With a big scale park like this, really thinking about how it's going to look at night. And like I say, I'm going to be building a lake show at some point in the near future as well. A really nice 360 show, something that can be viewed all the way around the lagoon there in the middle of the park. And yeah, that'll be something to look forward to soon as well. I plan on doing a few different shows on the lake. So yeah, stay tuned for those in the future, because I have done a you know, like a show before. That was back in Volcano Springs, but I'm looking forward to doing a lot more and going more into detail with that with you guys. I'm very creative when it comes to the shows and stuff away from Planet Coaster, so I'm looking forward to implementing those and sharing more in the game. Here we can see a nice little dragon statue that I'm putting in there, looking at various different items here and thinking, oh, what works in the area, what fits. And yeah, you know, I thought with this dragon we're actually going to have it fire breathing, and we'll do a triggered effect. So when the train comes around this section of the track, it'll breathe fire out, and it'll just be a really nice effect for guests as well when they're on board, and also walking up the queue line there as well. Again, another comment that I thought I'd mention, a couple of people said that they really like how I sort of pretend that it's real and, you know, think about the guests, you know, in this park. And I do, you know, at the end of the day, you know, when I go to all these theme parks, that's what inspires me to build in this game, you know, and that's what makes me think, oh, let's put this in or let's do that. Because it makes me think of, you know, like the real theme parks that I've been to really help me with it. Like one of my favourite Chinese areas is at Portaventura. I love it. I think it looks amazing with Dragon Khan and Shambhala just behind it. I think it works great. It's all about adding in them smaller details just here, some bushes going in, some rocks, some trees, and really starting to close the area in as well. And as I'm doing that, I'll leave you with a little bit of Planet Coaster audio, and I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. #rockwork. As you've seen over the last couple of minutes there, the area's really starting to come together now in terms of the landscaping around there. And yeah, I'm just starting work now on another smaller temple building that will actually form part of the entrance area to the ride itself. Of course, this can be used for staff to store maybe cleaning equipment and other bits of things what they need at the entrance to the ride itself. I really do like how the monorail just slotted in nicely there as well. And you've got to think I have built around the monorail, but I'd always had that intention of building a big coaster around here, a big statement ride that when you are on that monorail coming into the park, you know, you really see it and it gives you a really nice sort of vibe when you're coming in. As you can see here, I was struggling a little bit with the roof. This is attempt number 3, and yeah, just to make sure that I got it at the right height there. And yeah, just all these little things, isn't it? You know, you got to mess about with it. You got to practice these things and just have a little bit of a go. But yeah, it's starting to come together nicely now, the area. Now I just want to also talk a little bit about how I actually design the areas in terms of the layouts, because I know there's been a few comments of people asking, oh Sean, you know, how exactly do you you know, actually come up with the layout for the area? Like, where does the coaster go, the paths, all that sort of stuff? And to be honest, there isn't like a right or wrong way of doing it. You just got to have a practice and see what goes. It's like for me now, I had a bit of an idea that, right, I want this big temple at the back, my lift hill off to the right of it, a small little bit on the lake, some big inversion, of course it's the Cobra roll over the lake itself. And yeah, you know, just starting to think about it all. You know, you just got to really like mess about with it and practice. And you got to think, like, I really like the position of the observation tower, you know, or should we say pagode from F-telling. I think it fits in quite nicely there, and you get some great like bird's eye views over this area and this coaster itself. Now, let's go on to names, shall we? In the last episode, I asked for you to name the carousel and vintage cars ride that are built in the previous episode over in the United Kingdom themed area. And yes, I've picked some names. Again, thank you so much to everyone who commented on the episode with names for those attractions. Some brilliant suggestions, which is great. I mean, so much thought went into them, which is amazing, especially because, you know, they're not major rides. It's the small vintage cars and a carousel. This is standard flat ride, but you guys still come up with some great stuff. So I've picked 2 different names from 2 different people, and the first one we're going to name the carousel, and we're going for Cavalry. So just a nice, you know, cavalry. It just rolls off the tongue. I do like that. And thank you to YouTube user Darren Deckers for that one. So yes, Cavalry will be the name of the carousel, or if you want a bit of a tongue twister, you can go and ride the Cavalry Carousel. There you go, try saying that, especially if you've had a few drinks. But there you go. Thanks, Darren, for that one. The Vintage Cars ride, with this being a little bit bigger than just a small flat ride, I've gone for a storyline for this one that I've picked out, and I really like the idea of this one. It's going to be a bit of a longer name. It's Professor Tully's Tinkered Trolleys. So here we go. Here's the storyline behind this one, thanks to YouTube user Tristan Bowes. So yes, here we go. Professor Tully has always had a screw or 2 loose, and now invites you to test out his newly invented Tinkered Trolleys. Oh, I love it. Such a good name. You got to think we've got a great story going on here. Of course, we've got the Magician's Curse with the Mack Ride spinning coaster in that area. You know, and that's all based around that mysterious wizard. You know, so yeah, we've got some really nice stories behind them rides. So thank you to Darren and also Tristan here on YouTube for coming up with them names. I absolutely love them, and I think they fit in really nicely with it all. Now it's time for you to name this coaster just here, and of course the observation tower as well, and I will pick them out for the next episode that will be number 7. Can't believe it. These episodes, like, I feel like they're flying out. It's going so quick. We're nearly at the end of this episode already. Crazy. Honestly, I could talk for England, but here we go. The area itself coming on nice now with the trees starting to block it all in a bit, and likewise with the United Kingdom area. I'll be going back to them later in the series and adding more details and stuff. This is just the basis of the area, and yes, you know, they are looking nearly complete, but I can go back, added some more bits where I want to here and there as well. So yes, get your name suggestions coming in for the B&M Floorless coaster on this video, and also for the observation point as well, because I'd love to see your theme suggestions. And now you've got, you know, you can see what it's all like. You can build a story, a theme all around it now that you want to, of course all relating to China and the area that it's located in, but I really do look forward to seeing what you guys come up with, because like I always say, you're brilliant when it comes to storylines and names. And of course, it keeps the series nice and interactive as well. Oh, here we go. We got some nice Chinese lanterns going in down here now. Like I say, I'm just doing like a copy and paste job here. I've just built them basically up there, away from the area. And then you can literally just highlight them all and bring them over. That's the beauty of this game. Like, the stuff what you couldn't do in Roller Coaster Tycoon, you know, is like copy and paste stuff like that. And honestly, it saves so much time. It really does. But yeah, they're going to look great at night, give a really nice red glow across the area. So, just starting to think about what my next plans are for the next episode. I'm actually going to be moving away from the China area, but even though there is going to be more coming to it, of course, the United Kingdom area is not going to be expanded anymore because the area is full. With this, there's going to be a dark ride and potentially another flat ride as well, and definitely a couple of food units being built. So yeah, that's all going to be coming in a future episode, because in the next episode, I'm actually going to start work on yet another country, and this is going to be located on the other side of the water, so kind of opposite where we are with this. Oh, here we go, got a bit of fuego going in there. Love a bit of fire going in, and as you can see, that'll be a triggered effect as well. So when the train actually comes round the track, it'll actually blast out. Same with that one just there as well, down at the ride's entrance. And then ones are going to be more permanently on just there in the dragon's mouths. But yeah, so like I say, you're going to think about the actual next area that I'm going to be doing. That's all coming up in the next episode, and I look forward to sharing that with you. And we'll return to this Chinese area. And just at the top of the screen there now, you can see where I'm going to be building the dart ride behind the lift hill in the future. And of course, now all the theming's in around there as well. I'll take you on board another ride on the coaster. We'll go on board all the different rides, in a few episodes time. What I'm going to do is do a bit of a recap. Maybe when we get to episode 10, I'm going to do a recap of what we've built so far, go through the names, take you guys along for some POVs and off-ride shots, and yeah, really you can really get a feel for this part now. I'm loving it. 2 countries in, and of course, more to come from China in the future. But there we go. Coming to the end of this episode now. I hope you've enjoyed watching episode 6 of Globe Explorer here on Theme Park Worldwide. Again, thank you for all of your support. It's coming on really nice, this. I'm looking forward to sort of putting the next area in, and it'll be even on both sides of the lake as well. So make sure you come and tune into episode 7, and I'll see you all there. Get your name suggestions coming in for what I've built in this episode. I'm Sean Sandbrook, and thank you for watching this week's episode. That means it's time to cue those credits. See you later.